Welcome to SleepLore, a haven where history and folklore drift around you like gentle whispers at dusk. Here, each story is spun to calm your mind and invite restful dreams, while immersing you in the sights and sounds of days long past. If you enjoy wandering through stories that soothe and captivate, remember to like and subscribe to support more tranquil journeys into the enchanted past. Tonight, we unravel the secret world of medieval marriage. This episode guides you through the candle-lit halls of ancient castles, exploring how unions were shaped by duty, faith, and shifting alliances. We will trace rituals steeped in tradition, discover why love was rarely the reason for marriage, and find rare tales where hearts bravely defied custom. Let the gentle mysteries of old Europe guide you softly into slumber. Chapter 1. Shadows Cast by Candlelight. In the great hall, silence settled as flickering candles painted golden shadows across stone walls adorned with tapestries. Gentle footsteps echoed, the night air scented with melting wax and old wood. Here, beneath soft illumination, stories of union and separation began. This was the heart of the medieval world, where every marriage shaped destinies far beyond the glow of the hearth, every whispered word woven into the tapestry of a kingdom. Beyond love's shimmer stood families bound by duty and age-old expectation. Parents watched from high-backed chairs, weighing every handful of dowry, every promised land or castle. Marriage, to them, meant the delicate balancing of alliances and legacies. A fleeting touch of the hand, a gentle glance. Such moments were rare, hidden beneath layers of faith, tradition, and responsibility. In these quiet chambers, romance was a fragile flower rarely allowed to bloom. Imagine the gentle murmur of prayers as figures gathered before the altar, candles glowing softly in the darkness. Here, amidst intricate tapestries and solemn faces, marriage was more than a promise. Was a thread in a grand design, spun tightly by clergy and kin. Ancient laws echoed in every corner, shaping fates and weaving together strangers for reasons as old as time, not for love, but for family, faith, and the future of the realm. A bride, veiled in lace and quiet hope, stepped into her new life surrounded by whispers of yesterday's vows. Her eyes, wide and searching, sought not romance but reassurance that her sacrifice might protect her name or save her lineage. Across the hall, her future husband, sometimes as much a stranger as an ally, waited in silent contemplation, his duty to family and crown outweighing any secret dreams the heart might hold. The great hall became a stage where families bartered destinies under wavering light. Dowries were counted, names recited, old pacts renewed. A single candle flame flickered beside a parchment sacred testament to unions parting ways with the spirit of youthful longing. Yet underneath this choreography, faint currents of yearning slipped quietly through, reminding us that even in the strictest age, hearts sometimes wandered along forbidden paths beneath the moon. In the hush that settled after promises were spoken, the weight of the future pressed gently against every stone and tapestry. Each union was a bridge sometimes sturdy, sometimes trembling between ancient houses and uncertain tomorrows. Faith watched from the shadows, its rules guiding each step, each hushed conversation by candlelight. Yet, for all its gravity, there lingered the soft hope that one day love might find its own quiet hour. Soft, golden, light-colored, anxious faces as traditions passed from elder to child. Here, girls learned the lore of dowries and the dignity of obedience. Boys were taught the silent codes of alliance and kinship. Every lesson, every whispered tale was another knot in the intricate web of expectation, drawn taut by the hands of those who had quietly woven such patterns for generations. The air hung heavy with dreams shaped by custom rather than desire. As the candles burned low and shadows deepened across the great hall, the first night of marriage unfolded quietly, its hopes and fears kept secret behind embroidered curtains. What stories would be seated in this union? What longing held quietly? What legacies gently begun? Beneath the ancient ceiling, the tapestry of medieval marriage stretched onward, its colors subdued and luminous, inviting us to wander softly through the mysteries awaiting in chapters yet to come. Chapter 2. The Courtship. Waltz of alliances, within candle-lit halls and whispered corridors, unions are delicately crafted not by the beating of hearts, but by the ticking of ambitions. Here, the intricate rituals of matchmaking unfold like a carefully choreographed dance, lords and ladies gliding through custom and expectation. Each shared glance is measured, each word considered, as noble families seek not affection, but advantage for their houses. A hush settles over manor chambers as noble families gather, their intentions hidden beneath silken words. Matchmaking, as much negotiation as ceremony, often begins with a quiet parley between powerful lineages. Names are discussed, fortunes weighed, and the fates of sons and daughters take form behind closed doors. In these meetings, dreams are penned in ink and sealed with the hopes of dynasties yet to be built. As torches flicker along stone walls, the conversation turns to promises made in gold and land. Dowries shimmer quietly in the light, coins and parcels of earth set forth as guarantees of loyalty and prosperity. These offerings, simple in appearance, carry the weight of futures, each chest carefully counted, each acre pledged to bind families together, their worth stretching far beyond the riches they contain. Near the altar, the church stands watchful, a stern guardian over every arrangement. With blessings whispered in prayers and vows overseen by solemn eyes, it is the institution that turns alliance into sanctity. The priest's voice carries through the chapel, binding destinies not merely with words, but with faith, an invisible thread weaving together those who kneel before stone and scripture. Within those sacred walls, anxious moments pass in quiet sighs and restless hands. Young noble daughters lower their eyes, hearts fluttering with uncertainty beneath lace and brocade. Across the aisle, youthful knights stand at attention, outwardly composed but inwardly wrestling with dreams unspoken. Here, destiny is a tapestry sewn by others, leaving many to wonder what place love truly holds. Behind each sealed scroll lies a choice already made, wax glimmering in the candle's glow. Arranged betrothals are the norm, each contract drafted with the steady hand of tradition. For those bound to parchment by duty alone, longing lingers at the edges of obedience, lives directed by signatures and signet rings rather than the silent whisper of the heart. Even as alliances are forged, the air hums with delicate anxiety. Nobles sense the weight of expectation, feeling the pressure of parents' watchful gazes and the legacy of ancestors past. The solemnity of the occasion mingles with hope and dread as futures are sealed with promises made in the absence of true desire. Each breath carries the possibility of both joy and regret. Gift-laden processions parade through castle gates, marking the formal union of powerful houses. Scribes busy themselves with ledgers and documents, ensuring every promise is recorded, every term meticulously scribed. Festivities unfold in muted grandeur, music drifting softly through marble corridors, yet beneath the surface new alliances shift the delicate balance of power throughout the land. The church blessing seals more than just a union. It cements loyalty and control, turning private longing into public duty. A careful watch is kept for any trace of forbidden love or secret defiance, for the rules of marriage here are strict, and the cost of disobedience steep. Each couple, as they stand beneath the arch, must surrender to the will of both faith and family. Silence falls as ink dries, sealing fates beyond recall. Noble daughters and young knights, their stories quietly entwined, step forward into lives chosen for them. Through parchment, wax, and ritual, the waltz of alliances continues, elegant yet unyielding. Their hopes mingle with the echoes of ancient halls, while the world outside prepares to witness this ever-repeating dance once more. Chapter 3. Chained Hearts and Church Bells. In the cool hush of a medieval nave, the scent of incense drifts through ancient arches. Shadows dance across stone walls where prayers in Latin echo and linger, mingling with the secret hopes of lovers kneeling before the altar. Here, marriages are shaped not just by affection, but by laws written in sacred texts, binding hearts with invisible chains under the watchful gaze of faith. Candles flicker, casting gentle halos on the faces of those about to vow their lives. The church, silent and vast, becomes a witness and judge. Each whispered prayer, each trembling hand, holds more meaning than words ever could. For these couples, the altar is no mere symbol. It is where destinies are sealed under the authority of God and the stern eyes of clergy who recite rules older than memory. The laws of the church are woven tight, shaping every promise and every union. Consent must be freely given, yet family expectations and legalities press in like a heavy cloak. Some unions are forbidden entirely, blood ties too close, previous vows unbroken, or station too distant. To break these rules is to risk shame, punishment, or excommunication, severing one from both society and salvation. Yet even within these holy walls, love sometimes defies decree. There are stories whispered behind pillars of couples who dared to wed in secret, their vows spoken in the hush between midnight and dawn. With trembling hands and racing hearts, they challenge the boundaries drawn by faith and law, hoping the sanctity of their promise will shield them from harsh judgment and heartbreak. The church is not only a place of ceremony, but also confession. Here, lovers confess forbidden longings, hoping for mercy. Some priests, bound by duty but moved by compassion, offer gentle counsel, striving to balance human desire with strict doctrine. In the silence after their words, candles still burn, steady and unwavering, a symbol of hope for those who dare to dream of love beyond the rules. For noble families, marriage is a game of power and inheritance. Alliances are cemented at the altar, not just between two souls, but two houses. The bride and groom may barely know each other, their hands trembling with uncertainty as vows are exchanged. Yet the law is clear, a spoken promise in front of witnesses is binding, no matter the hidden fears or silent tears beneath the veil. Sometimes, the only escape for desperate lovers is elopement. Slipping away at night, they might seek a sympathetic priest in a quiet chapel, risking everything for the chance to join their lives away from prying eyes. Tales of eloped couples drift through the villages like mist. Some find happiness, some heartbreak, but all are marked by the courage it takes to choose love over obedience. Songs and stories blossom in the spaces between law and longing. Troubadours carry tales of star-crossed lovers through great halls and candle-lit courtyards, immortalizing those who challenged the church's authority for the sake of devotion. These legends shimmer in the memory of the people, reminders that the heart's quiet rebellion can echo through stone and time long after vows are spoken. As prayers rise like incense, so too does the ever-present question, can faith and desire truly coexist? In every marriage blessed by the church, there lingers a quiet tension between the world's strict order and the wildness of the human heart. Some find contentment within those lines, others yearn for a love that defies even the most sacred boundaries, risking all for a taste of forbidden joy. In the waning light of the church, we see the delicate dance that binds fate, faith, and longing. Flickering candles bear witness to every secret hope and trembling vow. Though the rules remain carved in cold stone, the warmth of whispered prayers and quiet defiance fills the echoing nave, reminding us that even in the strictest eras, love finds its own uncertain, luminous path beneath stained glass and silent bells. Chapter 4. Love's Secret Rebellion. Beneath the silent arches and echoing corridors of medieval castles, secret affections often kindled in the shadowed spaces where duty gave way to desire. Here, behind closed doors and watchful eyes, knights and noblewomen found themselves drawn into forbidden dances of longing, risking more than their hearts for moments alone. Their stories linger in the hushed corners where candleglow flickers on ancient stone. Love in these times was not meant for whispered promises, but for public alliances. Yet, as moonlight spilled across the courtyard, some dared to defy the iron-wrought rules of family and faith. Beneath the hush of night, tender hands met in secret, the air tinged with hope and danger. Every encounter, no matter how brief, carried the thrill of transgression and the certainty of risk. Secret tokens, a ribbon pressed into a knight's gauntlet or a lock of hair hidden within a book, became symbols of rebellion. Lovers spoke little, but their gestures carried messages deeper than words. A glance across a crowded hall or a note tucked beneath a stone held a power delicate and fierce. Their devotion grew in silence, each day an act of quiet defiance. For many, these hidden meetings were the only touch of warmth in lives arranged by others. Shadows stretched long in candle-lit chambers as hearts pressed on, hoping the world outside would never learn what bloomed within. The fear of discovery shaped their love, making every encounter both exquisite and bittersweet. The bravery needed to love in secret was enormous, and the risks unforgettable. Not all whispers of love ended with escape and happiness. Some tales unraveled in sorrow, with parting at dawn or urgent footsteps echoing through cold corridors. Lovers sometimes endured punishments meant to terrify others, their courage etched forever in legend. Tears were shed behind stone walls, and hopes were carried away by the morning birds, leaving only traces of rebellion carved into memory. Still, new tales of forbidden love sprouted like wildflowers at the margins. Unknown to all, a stolen letter might change hands under the willow, or a vow might be sworn where the moon sees all but speaks nothing. Each act, however small, rippled across the fabric of their tightly guarded world, fashioning a hidden language only for the brave of heart. Such devotion would outlast the harshest rules. The church and family watched closely, their rules ever present and strict. Yet even among stern guardians, compassion sometimes flickered. A kindly maid or silent gatekeeper might deliver a message, risking their own safety to help love's quiet rebellion. In the gentleness of these accomplices, hope found a way to reach across locked doors and winding staircases. Whispers traveled on the wind, echoing in ballads sung by wandering musicians who spun these tales into music and verse. The stories spread, their soft cadences woven into the dreams of those who heard, inspiring some to dream of their own hidden romances. In a world ruled by lineage and law, the poetry of secret love offered both comfort and a daring invitation to hope. Through the centuries, these acts of defiance have lingered in the folds of history. Even as customs changed and the rules of marriage bent to new times, the spirit of rebellion endures, a reminder that love, once awakened, rarely bows easily to power. In every era, hearts have listened for the secret music that plays for souls brave enough to love in silence and in shadow. So, as you drift through the ancient halls of memory, Let these stories gently accompany you. They are not just echoes of the past, but also gentle reminders that the heart's quiet courage can leave a mark no law can erase. In the softest darkness, love's secret rebellion continues, always waiting, always daring, in the spaces where dreams and daring softly meet. Chapter 5, Twilight of the Old Ways. Morning light spills like honey over weathered stone, revealing the slow unraveling of ancient customs. The world is changing quietly as the rules that once bound hearts begin to loosen. Through gentle reflection, we glimpse how the sacred and the everyday blend in the quiet moments just before a new age dawns. Listen as tradition softens and the promise of something softer begins to emerge. In these serene golden hours, secret vows and whispered hopes are carried on the breeze. Poems are quietly shared in candlelit chambers, and the music of lutes drifts from hidden corners. Medieval marriages, once governed by power and duty, are subtly touched by newfound yearnings. The power of song and story begins to shape hearts, as longing stirs beneath the surface, inviting change that comes as gently as the morning sun. As dawn finds its way past fortified walls, we sense the fading of the old world. Bonds formed out of obligation are quietly challenged by dreams of tenderness. Through the words of traveling poets and the artful verses of troubadours, love starts to weave itself into daily life. Listeners, imagine the hush before daybreak, when hope arises, softly, determinedly, changing what was once thought unchangeable. Changing what was once thought unchangeable. We follow the path of the rising sun, watching as lovers brave enough to cherish their own dreams kindle the earliest sparks of romantic rebellion. Each gentle defiance, each secret glance is a seed that will blossom in the centuries beyond. Even as the Church holds fast to its teachings and families cling to tradition, the quiet revolution of feeling gathers strength in silent gardens and midnight halls. Now, let us pause within these ancient battlements. Imagine a heavy sigh of relief as the strictures of old begin to give way to compassion and choice. Medieval society, built upon alliances and duties, gradually listens to the melodies of softer voices. The power of words, sung or spoken, becomes a gentle force one that persuades kings and commoners alike to imagine new possibilities for the heart. From these quiet beginnings, the world of medieval marriage is touched by slow, patient change. Each lyric, sung by a wandering bard, carries a hint of hope. The language once suited only for oaths or bargains now blooms with affection and longing. In this golden dawn, even the most stoic hearts feel the whisper of love, and the stories of forbidden longing become part of the tapestry of life. Through open windows, the scent of new beginnings drifts across castle courtyards. The tapestry of medieval love, woven from secrecy and yearning, now glimmers with the first real hints of freedom. Listeners, relax into this moment. Feel the comfort of knowing that, even in times of strict rules, gentle souls found ways to hope and dream. Here the past quiets, and imagination awakens like petals in the sun. Consider the slow fading of rigidity as hearts carve out quiet sanctuaries for affection within the shadows of tradition. The steadfast courage to cherish another, even in silence, becomes a quiet kind of heroism. As the Middle Ages draw to a close, the promise of love, once only whispered, now lingers warmly, your beacon guiding future generations towards tenderness and understanding. As our journey through the secret rules of medieval marriage draws to an end, you are invited to rest in the gentle afterglow of this changing world. The lessons of hope and courage passed down through music and memory create a soft lantern light on the path toward restful sleep. Let your worries drift away, wrapped in the amber haze of golden memories where the promise of love softly endures. In this final hush before dreams, we thank the poets and dreamers who dared to love against the grain. With each gentle farewell, the echoes of their courage linger in the quiet spaces between night and morning. Drift now on their stories, let your heart be warmed by a world where hope finally found its voice, and where the twilight of old ways blossoms into the quiet peace of night.